see Jesse killed. And people stood up and they each went through some bad incident that they think they had with Jesse. They were afraid to walk past the house. They actually referred to him as an Al-Qaeda terrorist in the neighborhood, that he would lay in wait. And I know Jesse, and that's not Jesse. Each of these times Jesse got off leash and all the bites were right at his house. So he's territorial. It's usually one bite and retreat. So that night, the Board of Selectmen voted to put Jesse down. And I was shocked when it went down. I tried to make some arguments, but nobody wanted to hear it. Their mission that night was to kill Jesse. The great thing was here, it made it into the local media, so people, it was in the paper. Every day I'd wake up and there'd be something else in the paper. And then there was this cartoon in the paper, will it be the black and tan mile for Jesse? And this is when I was like, oh, this is a great job. Because everybody commented on it, everybody had an opinion, and the paper is sort of following the case. And that just made me realize the impact that these dog cases can have in a local town. So this is a current case where Lansky's sister was put down because Lansky's sister, Adrian, bit somebody, and the owners, they didn't want to deal with the town, so they put it down, and now the town is having a dangerousness hearing. They want Lansky labeled dangerous, and it's sort of put on the watch list just for showing up, just for being at the scene, so we're challenging that. Sometimes the ACO is a villain, sometimes they're a partner, sometimes it's about rehoming the dog. You'll hear the law changed in 2012, and you'll hear, oh, we cannot order the dog to be out of town and given to a new home out of town. I disagree with that. There are ways that you can do that. You can do it with knowledge to the animal control officer in the new town. As long as that animal control officer knows the type of dog they're getting and the history, and they agree to take it on, you can do that. But there's not a single member of a board who will tell you that, of a board of selectmen. Just running through procedural due process, we all have the right to not be deprived of life, liberty, and property. And dogs are considered property. Even though we all think of them as children, dogs are still, in the eyes of the law, considered property, like a table and chairs. And that stuff can't be taken from you legally without a hearing. And due process provides that there'll be a hearing and an opportunity for you to defend yourself. But every time we go to court for a simple motion, the townspeople show. So I happen to love that atmosphere where they think I am just the worst person on earth. The taunting, I've been escorted out of court with police officers, the stuff that they've wished on me and my family, that I know I'm doing my job if that happens. And I'm sort of in character when I'm doing that, so I just have to have a thick skin, and that comes with doing this job. But I'll be the first person that they call when their constitutional rights are violated. I also tell my clients, if you want to read articles, fine, don't read the comments. Don't read any of the comments, because we're not going to fight everybody who has an opinion. And so many people have opinions. This was where I held the animal control officer responsible. Nico was found in a pen, and there were 2 dead goats. There was no leash law in Raleigh at the time. And there was a huge opening to the pen. Something got in the pen and killed these 2 goats. And Nico was a lab mix, not a lab pit bull mix, just a lab mix. And I went to the house, I met Nico. I really wanted to impress the owner, so I had a pocket full of treats. And I went and sat with Nico, and it was amazing how Nico just warmed up to me. But each time I was just slipping him a little treat. But here, as I started to dig and investigate, I researched how do goats get killed by wildlife, and the #1 predator is coyotes. So all we had to do was, we looked at the police log, and there were so many calls in that night about coyotes in the town of Raleigh. Animal control officer never researched that. Then, if a dog bites a goat, and it's very rare for a dog to bite a goat, a dog is going to bite a goat on the back end. These goats were bit right in the neck and taken down. And that kind of instinct is not in this lab. It doesn't have that kind of prey drive. And there's a certain way to measure the bite to see who did it. And it's as simple as you take a matchstick and you see how deep the wound is. And that's how you can tell if it was a coyote or some other animal. Never did it. Animal control officer never did it. So This guy got me involved just before the board hearing, and I went right to the newspaper and I started saying, this guy, this is why these things happen. As the animal control officer, I'm doing his job. I'll do the investigation here. And just before we were about to have the hearing, I used the media, put some good pressure on them, and said, this could all go away. Because I made sure the local press was there, and so we met, and they said, all right, how about this? He's just going to keep Nico released from now on. Because there was no proof that Nico did it, and Nico did not have blood on him. He definitely went there. He definitely investigated. A dog will always investigate a dead animal and smell. But so Nico lived, and it's just a lawyer had to get involved there. Here, one incident was Gino bit a man who was under a tree at night. Gino's owner, the 24-year-old, had Gino while he was rollerblading, and that's not a smart move. And then Gino bit this old-timer who had a lot of connections in the town. But as I found out, the old-timer has a drinking problem. And the old-timer came out from under a tree in front of town hall, and it was 8:30 at night, so it's dark. So once I started to raise that, then the old-timer had stopped showing up at the hearings, because I felt he startled Gino. It wasn't, sure Gino bit him, but he didn't even go to the hospital. He would never share medical records, but he wanted this dog killed, and he would say it in some of the hearings. Judges do not want to kill a dog. They're looking for a way out from having to order a dog killed. But after the second or third hearing, and they're showing up and they're hearing my arguments, they came around. Because the girl was playing with Gino. Gino was on a leash. They were playing, and Gino, she's a small girl, and he jumps up and he puts his paws on her shoulders. Now the parents insist that she was bitten on the arm, but if you look at the picture, it's not bites, it's scratches. So they stopped sharing the pictures with the hearing officers at each level we went to. So it wasn't a bite. So now we're like, well, one bite may have been a little bit provoked, and one was not even a bite, it was a scratch, and they were playing. So how bad is Gino? And the third one was, Gino got loose, and there was a dog on his property, and both dogs bit each other. Gino got bit, and this dog got bit, and the owners of that dog were adamant that Gino be put down. But nobody at the hearing, at the initial hearing before the board, said, well, how bad was your dog bit? When they asked that question, there was $140 in damage to their dog. This was not a predatory dog bite. $140 at the vet, 40 of those dollars were to give it its rabies vaccine. So now we're at $100, it's $35 just for showing up. So $65 for, I don't know if there were stitches or not, but that's not a big deal. So when you started to break down each incident, Gino's not such a bad dog after all. Here, the judge said, okay, after trial, he ruled that Gino will live. He has to go to a trainer constantly. We said he'll go to the behaviorist often, but he had to be muzzled. It is real encouraging for me to keep doing what I'm doing and try to make a full-time go of it. And I hope if you all have events like this, please invite me, because I need to get out there, and that's a great way to spread the word and to try to use some of the skills and experience I have to help you.
Well, we thank Jeremy Cohen for speaking at the MassBar Association's Animal Law Practice Group. We like to hear from attorneys who are incorporating animal law into their practices. There's a lot of different ways people have been able to do that, and it was really great for people to hear about Jeremy's practice and how he came to practice animal law, and sort of what he is doing now to help defend dogs.